I think the most important thing when you think about purpose is it's got to be really authentic and part of the brand. I think there's a lot of talk about purpose, right? Brands with purpose, brands with meaning, brands that matter. And it's dangerous territory if the interpretation of that is I get an NGO and put a badge on the side. Greenwashing is the worst thing we can do. And by the way, consumers can see through it straight away, particularly millennials. But millennials have a bullshit detector like you've never seen. And thank goodness, because I think businesses need to be held to account for being genuine in this area. And I think if you get the purpose really truthfully into the brand, Ben & Jerry's around social justice and climate justice, then I think you're okay. Now, will we bounce into a few things here and there? Yes. I don't think you can please all the people all the time. But as long as you manage them well and people see that you are authentic on who you are, they'll forgive you the odd stumble.
The best purpose is one that is very close to what you actually deliver to your consumer. So in our case, we are traditionally a car company, more and more a mobility company. And we've made very clear already many years ago that our vision is that we want to have a world of zero emission and zero fatality.
The most important thing that a company needs to have to compete today is a very clear and deliberate sense of purpose. Your purpose or your vision will set the parameters for which fights you want to lead on, which fights you're going to fly as a flock, if you will, and which fights you're going to avoid. In our particular case, because our purpose is to create technology that makes life better for everyone everywhere, there are two platforms that are core to what we do. One is sustainability, because it's about making life better, and we're a technology company and life cycle management matters. The other one is diversity, because it's the source of innovation. Anything and everything within that wheelhouse, we're going to take very strong and leading voices. There are other fights that we will share with the industry, and there are other fights that we're not going to get into. But it's more important than ever that companies around the world understand the ones that they're going to fight, the ones that they're going to partner with, and the ones that they're going to let go.
When you meet a person, I think you quickly come to a view of whether they're authentic or not by, do their actions match the words? And I think no one, responds well to a person that talks big and acts small. And I think it's the same for brands. If we commit to a purpose, we need to ensure that our actions really follow through.
So unlike companies like Unilever, which could have a uniting, sustainable, platform for themselves, in drinks, you don't actually want to know that Johnny Walker, Guinness, Smirnoff, Tanqueray all come from the same stable. Our brands have to speak with the voice of their founders because they're centuries old, and those are very unique voices. But so that each of our brands has its own purpose, and it's not necessarily worthy. So people connect purpose with CSR. It can be very lighthearted. We think about the way brands, why should a brand exist in the world? What would happen if it didn't? So sometimes that is quite serious purpose. Johnny Walker inspires progress, but sometimes it's a bit lighter.
Purpose is not just a fad that you want to talk about, but you really have to walk the talk. If you look at any consumer data today, particularly the millennial segment, more than 80% of all millennials demand that brands stand for something. And when they stand for something, they just don't put ads, they act upon it. What we have been exploring is to try and see if social good can truly be blended into the core of our business.
I think the essence of any purpose is you can only build it by being authentic, and it's the don't watch what I say, watch what I do moment that matters. And especially, we as a bank are probably more mindful than most of what happens if you believe your own hubris. So we approach this with humility and based on what we do for our customers, not what we snappily say in a soundbite.